In Irish and Celtic cultures, the belief that a howling dog is a harbinger of death or misfortune is deeply embedded in their folklore. Dogs in these traditions are often seen as animals that bridge the physical world and the spiritual realm. One of the most powerful figures in Irish mythology is the Cú Sith, a spectral hound believed to haunt the countryside, and whose howl was said to predict death. The Banshee, a female spirit known for her mournful wail that signifies imminent death, is also linked to dogs in some legends. If a dog howled near a home, it was thought that the Banshee's presence was close, warning of the death of a family member. In some versions of the legend, the howling of a dog is believed to be the actual voice of the Banshee herself, further reinforcing the connection between dogs and omens of death in Irish and Celtic traditions. The proximity of a howling dog to a household was of particular concern. If a dog howled at or near a door, it was seen as a direct indication that someone within the house would soon die or face great misfortune. This belief was so pervasive that people often took measures to protect their homes, including rituals or charms designed to ward off the perceived malevolent force accompanying the howling. In Hinduism, dogs are closely associated with the god Yama, the deity of death. Yama is depicted with two four-eyed dogs that guard the gates of the afterlife, guiding the souls of the deceased into the next world. In this context, dogs are seen not just as guardians of the dead, but also as beings that can perceive things invisible to human eyes, particularly spirits and supernatural entities. A howling dog, especially at night, is believed to be able to detect the presence of spirits or deathly forces. The sound of their howling is often interpreted as a signal that death is near or that a spirit is present, lingering in the material world. In some parts of India, a dog howling outside a home is viewed as a direct indication that someone in the household may soon pass away. The Hindu belief in reincarnation and the cyclical nature of life and death also adds to the gravity of these superstitions. The howling of a dog is often interpreted as a message from the divine or from the realm of the dead, reinforcing the idea that the animal possesses a heightened spiritual awareness. To many, the howling is not just a sound, but a sign that the boundary between the living and the dead is momentarily blurred, and the presence of a dog symbolizes this connection. Dogs in ancient Egypt were deeply revered, not just as pets, but also as sacred animals connected to the gods, particularly Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife. Anubis is depicted with the head of a jackal, a canine animal associated with death and burial rituals. Though dogs were considered protectors of the dead, their howling, especially near tombs or graves, was interpreted as an ominous sign. The howl of a dog in ancient Egyptian culture was sometimes thought to be a signal that a soul had not been properly transitioned to the afterlife or that the tomb had been disturbed, causing unrest among the spirits. The jackal itself was a scavenger, often found near cemeteries, which contributed to its association with death. While dogs were generally seen as protective, the eerie sound of their howling near sacred places was enough to send a shiver down the spine of even the most devout Egyptians. In many Native American cultures, animals are seen as spiritual guides and protectors. However, dogs, while respected, also have an ambivalent place in Native American mythology. A dog's howl, particularly during the night, is believed to signal a disruption in the spiritual realm. Among some tribes, such as the Navajo, dogs are thought to have a deep connection to the spirit world, capable of seeing things that humans cannot. Their howling is often interpreted as a warning of spiritual imbalance, perhaps signifying that someone is being pursued by evil spirits or that death is near. For the Navajo and other Native American groups, dogs are both protectors and messengers. Their howling is a signal that something in the spiritual realm needs attention. People often interpret these signs as warnings to prepare for a loss or to take steps to restore spiritual balance in their community. Despite the negative connotations, the howling of a dog is also seen as a call to action, a reminder that the physical and spiritual worlds are deeply intertwined. In traditional Chinese superstition, a howling dog, especially at night, is considered a bad omen. Much like in other cultures, the howling is believed to signal death or misfortune. In some regions of China, particularly in rural areas, it is said that when a dog howls outside a home, it means that death will soon visit the household. However, dogs in Chinese culture also hold protective roles. They are seen as guardians of homes and families, which complicates the superstition. Some believe that when a dog howls, it is warning of an approaching spirit or demon, and that the animal's heightened senses are protecting the family from harm. The duality of the dog's role in Chinese culture, both as protector and as an animal capable of signaling misfortune, reflects the complex relationship between animals and the spiritual world in Chinese thought. While their howling may be seen as a bad omen, it is also a call to be vigilant and prepared for potential challenges. In Mexico and parts of Latin America, the howling of a dog is similarly seen as a sign of death. In Mexican folklore, particularly in rural areas, it is believed that a howling dog can predict the death of a family member or loved one. This belief stems from the idea that dogs, like many animals, have a heightened awareness of the supernatural, and their howling serves as a warning to humans. In Zulu culture in South Africa, a howling dog is thought to signify that a malevolent spirit or witch is nearby. In these cultures, dogs are believed to act as guardians against evil forces, and their howling is a signal that something harmful is approaching. Much like in other parts of the world, these beliefs reflect the idea that dogs are attuned to both the physical and spiritual worlds, capable of perceiving threats that humans cannot. While many people no longer believe in superstitions, the howling of a dog continues to provoke feelings of unease. This may be due to the eerie nature of the sound itself. Psychologically, people are more likely to attribute meaning to events that they do not understand or that seem out of the ordinary. The howling of a dog, particularly in the stillness of night, taps into deep-seated fears of the unknown. From a scientific perspective, dogs howl as a means of communication, often to express loneliness, distress, or to communicate with other dogs over long distances. While there may be no supernatural basis for a dog's howling, the sound can still evoke a sense of foreboding, especially when it occurs in the context of loss, illness, or anxiety. The belief in a howling dog as a bad omen is widespread, with cultural variations across the globe, whether signaling death, misfortune, or the presence of supernatural forces. This superstition has endured for centuries. Despite advances in science and our understanding of animal behavior, the howl of a dog still carries with it an air of mystery and fear. This enduring superstition serves as a reminder of humanity's deep connection to animals and our shared belief in forces beyond the material world.